I'm so tired of micromanaging. How do I train, manage, and lead? I can't find time to be visionary. Head down in the weeds.
All right, let me say something that just might hit a nerve, and I completely understand why. Law firms absolutely despise working with recruiters. I hear this every single day, and honestly, I don't blame you. Because what most firms have experienced isn't true recruiting. It's resume forwarding, it's transactional, it's reactive, and it completely misses the point of what hiring actually requires to work inside a law firm. You've lived this, you've seen this, you've paid for this. They send you over a stack of candidates with their branding on the resume, and they're really operating like sourcers. Maybe you are so frustrated and you're like, why are you sending me these unqualified candidates? Possibly out of exhaustion, desperation. You start interviewing a few people, maybe you hire one, and then 90 days later, you're right back in the vicious cycle. Most recruiters have a 90-day guarantee, and that's incredibly difficult. I get it. We used to have that. We now have a 6-month because you need that opportunity to really onboard somebody. And vicious cycle is just out of control. You're frustrated. Your team is frustrated. But here's the truth. No one is saying out loud. It's not that recruiting doesn't work. It's that most recruiters aren't actually doing recruiting. They're not advisory. And that's the entire problem. Because real recruiting, especially in a law firm, you all are leading with compassion-driven counsel. It starts with consulting and counseling first and foremost. Recruiters must come from an advisory seat. Because it's not just about filling a seat, it's about building a role that actually works inside your law firm. And my experience in almost 30 years of recruiting is that when I get the phone call, it's coming from a place of typically fits and starts. So maybe we've seen an uptick in revenue or what have you, and we believe we need an attorney. We believe we need a paralegal. And when I start interviewing the attorney and really asking the powerful questions, 10 out of 10 times the position shifts in some regards. And most recruiters don't start here. They don't slow down. They don't challenge you. They don't ask the uncomfortable questions, the powerful questions. They just take your job description at face value and run with it. And that's exactly why placements fail. Because no one stopped to ask you, is this even the right role? And let's layer in between what you're actually experiencing behind the scenes. Most recruiters are juggling an average of 30 requisitions at one time. I mean, so many recruiting groups, and I'll hear people say with the badge of courage, I'm running 30 recs by myself. No sourcer, no poacher, no person running the AI and building lists in the background or what have you. And so the easiest one is getting to the top of the list. Sometimes think about that. They're running 30 requisition one time. Our recruiters here are no more than 5 at any given time with a dedicated sourcer. Because you think about that, if you have 8-9 hours in a day, what have you, there's no way in hell you're giving 30 recs the ample time every single day. So when you don't get a dedicated sourcer, recruiter, then you don't get focused attention. You get a fraction of their time at best. And the most attractive position is getting the most attention. And when no one is truly owning your search, your role becomes just another line item on a list. And then communication starts breaking down. You don't get updates. I'm a lunatic about my recruiters giving weekly updates to every single one of our clients. Over communication will win every single day, even if they don't like that we're not presenting clients. And so if you're working with a recruitment team and or maybe you have an in-house recruitment team. I'm getting ready to go speak at the Association of Law Firm Administrators, one of my favorite organizations. It's interesting because many of them have a dedicated HR team, talent acquisition team, director of people in there, and what have you. And even they in big firms outsource with people like me to support them and use us as a fractional recruitment team for them, because they know time kills all deal. They know what it takes to be able to even get someone to that first phone call. So I get it. Attorneys are sitting in this place of wonder and worry. You don't know what's happening. Number one, you in addition are getting information after you're asking and sending the email, where we at with. As I always tell my team and my clients' team, if a client's coming at you and saying where we at with this, you already know that you have a trust issue. And maybe you're an attorney that's sitting there and you don't know why candidates are saying no. This is one of the things that we do with our recruitment client. We get on the phone. Sometimes I have to give the bad news and say, the reason that we can't even get any candidates to present to you is because by the time we do the phone interview and the video interviewing, saving you time, candidates are telling us you have a horrible reputation. You have high turnover. So we need to address this first and foremost. We need to be able to communicate. I have one law firm right now, incredibly successful. Oh my goodness, on every measure. We're hiring 3 positions for them. And when we started interviewing candidates in the different COO, attorney, and community outreach coordinator, marketing coordinator, and we're hearing over and over again, second we divulge the law firm name. Well, most recruiters aren't being truth tellers and coming back and telling you that. And so then we come up with this strategy. So now we can say, okay, we know that there's been high turnover in the past or what have you. We're acknowledging it. I want to address this up in front, and let me tell you what we've done to mitigate that, to turn that around, and what we're doing to pour into our people and our culture, what have you. So if you're working with a recruiter and you are not experiencing this is a major red flag, because you need to know consistently what's working, what's not working. So you're not just sitting there waiting, stewing in frustration, because that silence absolutely kills trust. But it goes so much deeper than that, because most recruiters are not asking the powerful questions, the question behind the question. They're not digging into your firm. They're not uncovering what's really happening. They're not identifying the gaps, the breakdowns, the inefficiencies, and the opportunities if we increase the base salary. Because it's not about the fee, it's about the cost. If we don't pay people right and we don't hire lifers, for the most part, as much as we can, and most recruiters are just matching keywords on a resume. Don't even get me started on AI and how people feel that they can just lean on this or what have you. I've been interviewing so many recruitment AI companies and what have you. And it's all just based on the resume and SEO and SMO and what have you. We're not able to sell the culture. And that's not recruiting. That's filtering. That's data mitigation. Now here's the part that most law firm owners don't realize. Your recruiter also doesn't understand your unique selling proposition. And if they're not asking you that first and foremost, and maybe if we're being really honest, you might not understand it either. But that's exactly where an advisory recruiter steps in. One of the things that we have our clients do is record a video. It can be not fancy, not professionally produced, what have you, and talk and sell the candidate, because recruiting is 100% sales in this day and age. Hiring is 100%. And we have them actually make a video. And it's so fascinating to me, which I get, when they start making this video or what have you, they're deer in the headlights or what have you. Or they'll send the video back to us and like, You got to redo it. We provide you a script, but this is not selling. You are talking about features, not benefits. You are not really telling the truth about your culture. You are not telling the truth about how hard you all work. You are not telling the truth about your core values. You are not telling the truth about walking people through what it's like to work in the day-to-day there. A good recruiter is going to pull that out of you. They're going to advise you through that. They're going to consult you through that. They're going to help you through that. One of my favorite clients, their video is literally them walking in the office on a smartphone, frazzled as hell, like just communicating that we have more work than we know what to do with. Probably should have hired for this position a while ago. Here's where we're at. I have 60 cases that are backlogged. We're averaging about 10 new hires a day. We have a dedicated legal assistant. We have a paralegal. We have our pod and squad stacked. We have our technology stacked. Now we need you to come in and be a lawyer. And the good news in our firm, you get to be a lawyer because you have admin support surrounding you everywhere. You have technology surrounding you everywhere. That video, when we sent it out, I mean, telling the truth about what it's like to work here today. And when you come in here, new attorney, it's going to be amazing because then we can really amp up this PPC campaign. We can really do this in painting the picture of the future and the opportunities that are sitting out there. We had so many, in a 1.2% unemployment rate with attorneys across the country. So many people respond. They're like, I want to work with him. He's real, he's raw, he's cool, he's approachable, he's a bottom line type of guy, you know, tattoos and a t-shirt and all the things, like just being real versus selling. We are family first. No, like no one wants to hear that. No one believes that. So when it comes to, you know, choosing somebody, if you're not experiencing and your recruiter is not saying some things to you that make you cringe, that make you pause, that make you piss, that make you whatever, then that is an opportunity for you to really pause hard. Because really why you are frustrated with working with recruiters is they're not showing up like an advisor. They are not showing up like a consultant for you. They need to be pulling out of you what makes your culture different. What kind of growth opportunity actually exists? Not commissions, not bonuses, what have you. What are your leadership style? What does that look like? And sometimes it's okay if you're like, I'm not warm and fuzzy. I get right to the point. I have an attorney. He's so cute. I love him. He's from New York, but lives in California, what have you. He goes, some people think I'm an asshole, you know, blah, blah, blah. I'm to the point. I'm time strapped, what have you. I don't have time for all these squishy feeling stuff, what have you. And I had a paralegal that was like, I love this. Like, this is my person. This is exactly, I'm from New York too, and I'm living in California. This is my people, right? So be honest. What kind of environment this person is walking into? Because if you can't clearly articulate why someone should join your firm, then recruiters won't tell you what you need to be doing to be attractive in the market. They don't tell you when your salary is off. And this is the thing I love about our process. Flat fee. And we make law firms put money down before we start. Why do we do that? You have to be equally invested. So often I'll have firms call me and they're like, I'm working with 2-3 recruiters, what have you. They haven't produced crap. I haven't seen anything, or they're only sending me crap and things of that nature. Or they'll start sourcing for them and then they're like, oh crap, cash flow hit, or oh, a paralegal just left, or oh, I'm going on vacation, so I need to pause the recruitment efforts. I need to stop them. I don't really need to hire this person anymore because our leads are down. And then you lose all that momentum and traction. I only work with people who are serious about this process. And you have to pay to play. You have to have some skin in the game, just like most of you have with your clients. So recruiters aren't telling you when your expectations don't match your reality. We don't take on clients that are like, well, why don't you look for someone and let me know if you find anyone and maybe I'll... No, there's no wishy-washy. And maybe if you're wishy-washy in your hiring capacity, in your hiring roadmap, It might tell you where, if your revenue's down, where you're wishy-washy in your marketing strategies. So they don't come back to you and tell you when your hiring process is too slow. Time kills all deals. That you have all these different layers in there. Any rock star candidate anymore is not going to run through hoops. So they don't work with you on tell me about the second I send you a rock star candidate, what the internal interview process is going to look like, and then work with you on crafting that. They're not asking you, is there an executive assistant? Is there a client service coordinator that we can bring into this process to help us with scheduling, to help us with what have you? They don't tell you when your structure is unclear, because that would require advisory. And that would require expertise and consulting. And that would require them to push back on you and have the confidence to do that. If they don't have the confidence to push back on you, they're not going to have the confidence to push back on candidates. And many won't, because they don't want to risk the deal. They don't want to upset you, and maybe you're not going to sign that contract. But that's exactly why the deal doesn't work. Because no one is guiding you. If you were an expert in this, you wouldn't need us, right? Now let's come back to the core issue here. A true recruiter should start with a deep dive into why you are hiring this role, not just what you think you need, but what is actually happening inside your firm, from the front of the house at marketing and intake to closing that file. What is this person taking over, not helping with? What parts are they owning? What part of the process are they responsible for from start to finish, or maybe somewhere in the messy middle? Where are things currently breaking down? What is still sitting on your plate that should have been delegated already? And what does success look like? Walk like, talk like, feel like. What is success with this new hire? In clear, concise, well communicated, trackable, measurable. It's not vague, and it's specific. What are the KPIs at 30 days, at 60 days, at 90 days, all the way through this first 6 months to year? Because if that's not clearly defined, you're not hiring. You're guessing, and no candidate, no matter how talented, can win inside a guessing game. Then we look at onboarding, and this is where most firms and most recruiters absolutely miss the mark. Because onboarding isn't, here's your login, here's your desk, here's your form to get your paycheck. Somebody is taking full responsibility to teach, show, do, go, grow. We are talking about shadowing. We are talking about presentation. Onboarding is a strategic plan. It's mapped. It's structured. It's intentional. It answers what they are learning first, what they are responsible for next. When do they start owning outcomes? When are they fully accountable? And if your recruiter isn't talking to you about that before you hire, they're not setting you up for success. They're setting you up for turnover. They are setting you up for frickin' endless frustration. And this is the part too where they're not talking to you about salary, billables, expectation, because this is where advisory really becomes a non-negotiable. If your recruiter is not pushing back when you say, I want this role at this salary. I expect these billable hours. I need them to handle all these responsibilities. It's a red flag, a big one. Because alignment is not about agreement. Alignment is about truth telling. A real recruiter will tell you this. This compensation does not match the role. This expectation is unrealistic for the market. Here's what your competition is looking like, and I don't care what you found on salary.com. I don't care what your buddy from the attorney Facebook group told you of how they landed somebody for X, in the same marketplace or the same job description or what have you. This is actually 2 positions, not 1. So let's get clear on that. If they're not saying stuff like this to you, gang, this is why you're frustrated. The structure will not attract the level of talent you want. And then we can have a conversation. Yes, it's going to be uncomfortable, and it should be uncomfortable. It's a big decision, and it needs to be collaborative. And so then they can say, okay, great. Let's structure this properly. It might be 2 positions in the beginning. They might be intake and also legal assistant. They may be marketing and also client service coordinator, and that's okay. Let's just get incredibly clear about it, because we want that discomfort in the beginning when we're brain draining and flushing this out, because it's what protects your investment and your time. Because without it, you're going to hire fast. You're not going to get any candidates. You're going to miss expectations. You're going to lose an employee that might be on the brink of burnout or past the brink of burnout, and you start all over again. That cycle's what law firms actually hate. Not recruiting, bad recruiting, because when recruiting is done right, it changes absolutely everything. You should feel changed, and you should be walking away with pages of note from that first discovery call with the recruiter. You should have strategy that you can implement immediately while the recruiter does the sourcing and the vetting. And you should be able to implement that, because then it becomes predictable, consistent. It's something you should walk off that call with that you already know becomes scalable. You should be walking out with clarity, not confusion. You should be walking out with a clear, intentional plan that hopefully even during that meeting where you can talk to your existing employees and maybe pivot some of their KPIs. This creates ownership for the recruiter. It creates accountability for you, attorneys and legal leaders, because most often the reason you're hiring is because there's a bottleneck somewhere, but that habit and the behavior is also what kills. So up front, your recruiter should be saying to you, here's what you should expect from communication from us, the frequency, the modality, the methodology, what have you, and here's what I expect from you. You need to reply within 24 hours. Rockstar candidates have 3 to 5 offers on the table. We need to know who exactly in your team is part of this process. And this frees you from being in the weeds. And most importantly, it stops you from asking, where the hell are we at on this? Every single day. Or if 4 a.m, when you're getting up to do work, if only when you had this hired, they'd be doing it, or nights or weekends or whatever it might be. So if you've been burned by recruiters before, you're not wrong. Your frustration absolutely makes sense. But now you know why. Because what you experienced wasn't advisory. It wasn't strategic. It wasn't designed for your firm to win. It was designed for a recruiter to get a butt in a seat and the commission 90 days. And once you shift from hiring as a transaction to hiring as a system, using hiring as an advisory council, absolutely everything changes for you. So, no more suffering in silence. No more blaming your recruiters that you're working with if you're not seeing what you intend to see from communication, from systemization, if you're not experiencing the powerful questions, if you're trying to recruit on your own or you have a recruitment team, get onto my calendar. I'm more than happy to share with you what is working in this insane legal industry in every single department. Overseas, non-attorney salespeople, intake people, attorneys, paralegals, what have you. So, no suffering in silence, no playing the blame game. If you are in the hiring vicious cycle right now or thinking about it anytime soon, let's hop on a call and start crafting your strategic plan. All right, until next time, continue being legal leaders leading legal leaders.